When you first log in, you're going to get a couple of videos and whatnot. What you can do, just hit the escape button. Once you hit the escape button, you might have to hit it once or twice, but it's going to go through everything. You'll have your login screen. If you want to make a new character, you can go ahead and click new character, and then you can choose male or female. I do want to impress upon you, keep in mind that your view of your character is going to be this most of your time playing. The angle is going to be a little bit higher, so you'll see more of just the head here. I'll pick my race, and then I'll go, okay, this is what I have. This is the class that I want to play. Right now with man, you cannot check Bjorning. You have to actually go down and click Bjorning, and then that's the only one you can do. So we'll stick with man because that opens up everything else. This little icon means that it's a class that you can buy. That means that you're going to have to use your LP to purchase it. So if I click on it, I can click unlock. It'll bring open the LOTRO store. It's going to bring you to the website. So it's going to ask you if you want to purchase one of the bundles. You don't have to do that. I'll show you the easiest way to do it. Exit the create, go up here, click the store here. Okay, well, under account. For 1,000 LP, you can buy the Mariner class. LOTRO points is what LP stands for. I have 1,000, I could buy it. If you want to see what it looks like, LP is real money. So in this case, we're using the US dollar. So buying that character, you can either spend, looks like, $15, $16? Because you'd have to buy this twice. Well, that would give you, yeah, buy it twice. Or you could just spend the 20 and get 1,600. That's the best way to do it. Don't buy the whole expansion pack again if that's not what you want. All right, we'll go back into the character. We'll choose a hunter. So the first thing it's going to do is where do you want to live at? It's just your backstory. It's not really like where you're going to start playing or anything. You can read the description here. It'll give you some recommendations on what should your name kind of start with and what are the common ones for it to end. In this case, we're going to hit randomize. In this case, I can change the tutorial. You may not be able to if you're creating like a brand new character, like you don't have any other characters. So I can skip tutorial and go straight into Archet and start roaming around. If you've never played before, I would definitely go with Shadows of Angmar. It's going to have a little bit more story for you. Before the Shadow, that starts in Swanfleet. It kind of starts in an area that's further away from the beginner areas. In itself, it's a beginner area, but you're still going to have to travel back to Bree, which is essentially like the second tier beginner level. I just fully recommend just do Shadows of Angmar. That way you understand how the game's going and everything. As far as what the player looks like, remember the back is basically what you're going to see the whole gameplay. Every now and then you'll do something like this where you're like, oh, I got Minas Tirith in the background. I'll take a screenshot or I'll just enjoy the view, and you can have your character swivel the camera around and you can have your character showing. If you go through all the different presets, you can change the way the face looks, the mouth, the body type, everything. And it doesn't just go from like skinny to fat. It's like skinny, fat, muscular, like there's a lot of good options here. And that's just body type. You can open these up and change like skin color. There's a bunch of options for head. Keep in mind, doing all that, you're still looking from back here most of the game. You can make them look like some suggestions is people make their character look like themselves. They'll try and make them look like their favorite movie character or what they imagine in the books the character should look like. At this point, since this would be my like 15th alt, I would just hit randomize until I'm like, that's pretty cool looking. It's actually for a hunter, not bad. And then you can create character and that will take you, oh, the name's already taken. I took too long. Anyway, you can create character and then that will put you into the game. Let's randomize. Ooh, I don't know if that, we'll go with it. So now it's sitting here as a hunter that I just made. You would then click enter Middle Earth.
A chance encounter with brigands upon the road leads to captivity. You awaken with the ranger Strider before you. As he urges you to act quickly, you realize you have become involved in matters much greater than yourself.
We're going to go through a couple of things real quick. First thing is, if you've played the game before and you don't want these tooltips, just make sure that you have that checked, but it's only going to show that hint. So as you go to do things, more hints will show up. So to get rid of that, type in hint, show tutorial hints, go ahead and turn that off. I turn it off because I don't need it now. Some of the other things I'll do is I'll go ahead and grab this and make the chat big enough to fit right there because I like to do that. Also, you'll see up here my inventory is kind of full. What I do is I go ahead and hit this cog and I'll just drag everything over. So I don't like having 6 bags. It's not for me. I'll just say that, especially when I talk about the next thing. All right, so now you can hit the cog again. Now it's only the 1. So I can just move this over here. You'll also see this down arrow. This will sort all your items. So it's not just moving your items to the bottom. It's actually putting them together. So if I 10-year frame. So if I move this up here and I move that over there, they're going to move back to their original spots just because this is the order. So this is year 6 gift, 5 gift, 4, 3, 2, and then 1. I also have my 10-year frame. I'll have the river stuff and then this cosmetic. So it tries to put them together in order. If you end up picking up a ton of like crafting items, they'll all, when you hit sort, they'll all be next to each other and they'll be in order of crafting type. So if you have scholar, all the scholar stuff together. Jewels, all the jewels are together. There's a couple of like strange things where you would think that they go next to each other and they don't. Kind of makes sense later on. Also, you'll notice when you have the inventory open, you have a couple of boxes here. That's a quick to my home, my premium house. And then this is a quick port to my regular house. These are disabled during the tutorial, so you'll have to keep that in mind. And speaking of that, I like to go here and then quick slots, lock quick slot bars. That's helpful if you're constantly clicking any actions in here and you're worried that you like clicked and dragged it out. See, now it's gone. And if I'm in the middle of a battle and I need that skill for some reason, then I'm in trouble. So you can always hit the K button on your keyboard because that's the default and place it back. Speaking of that, you can go ahead and when you go to quick slots under your options, that's Control O, you can hit make bar 3 horizontal, make bar 4 horizontal, and just keep clicking all these, right? I don't know if you notice here, up here you can see the boxes and now they're stacked here. Alt F10 gives you a personal light. Now you can see a little bit better and all of these are stacked up. I normally put my housing ports up at the top, actually, like that. If you draw one over the other, they'll just switch. So that's one of the first things I do. I make sure that's like that. And now you can see that these are still here, but the rest of the boxes are blank. I have my skills down here that correlate with the top row of your keyboard as far as 1 through the equal sign. So this will be 1. Down here is the equal sign. The letter I opens your inventory. This, you can click that if you want, like if you have a bad guy targeted. However, what I do is I hit the tilde button, which is the button to the left of the number 1. That will auto press that for me. So that way I can just put my fingers up on the top 4 buttons and I just move my pinky and hit that tilde button. Here you can see all of your armor. I have really nothing right now, but if any of these have agility, but anyway, shouldn't be too picky. So if you right click any armor that's in here, it will automatically trade it to the proper slot up here. And you notice I had something else in the spot, so I'll do the same with this one so you can see it. It replaces it. So it puts it back in my inventory. If I decide, hey, I don't like the look of this gray with my green outfit, you can go to cosmetic, you have what you're wearing, and then in here you'll see an eyeball. Click the eyeball, it makes it go away. Just remember later on, if you want to put on a cloak and see what it looks like, you can either put it on and do this, or a little bit easier is hover over the item you want, hold the control button, left click, that'll bring up your dressing room, and then you can see what that looks like, and you can cycle through all the ones that you have. Again, armor, jewelry, weapons down here. This is for a shield or a secondary weapon. Here's your crafting tool, and then this is your class slot, and it's going to be more important when you get your legendary at level 45. I think the quest starts at 45. Anyway, right here is you drag and drop something later on, but like when you have your legendary, you can grab it, drop it in this flame, and it will actually open up the legendary item so you can slot different things. Right now, until you're level 45, don't even worry about this. There's nothing that goes there for you. That's one of the big things when I came back to the game. I had no idea. For a hunter, pretty much when you start, you'll see Fate has it starts out at 14 and actually has a +5. Now the +5 could be because of a piece of armor you have on. It could be because of your race. Whatever the case is, you have a little bit more power, essentially, and out of combat power regeneration. You'll see that will is 1. Will for hunters doesn't seem to be very important. Will is your physical mastery, so it's going to be the amount of damage you do with something other than a bow. It's going to be like if you have a sword or a knife or something. Critical rating, finesse, physical mitigation, resistance, crit rating. Vitality is your health. As you keep going, you'll start to learn like what's important. As a hunter, agility increases your physical mastery, which also will does. Outgoing healing doesn't really matter because you don't heal other players. Evade rating, critical rating, mitigation, tactical and physical, and then parrying. So these stats are important for, your player as a character. What you really want to focus on is think about your hunter. It shoots at a distance, so your tactical and physical mitigation, like, is it very important? Most of this game is about being in groups. You'll have healers and whatnot. So your mitigations really don't need to be that high, but your damage does. So physical mastery would be higher for most of this. So I would honestly be looking at making sure my power level is high because every skill you do takes power. So I'd be looking at agility for sure and fate. So those two I'd be looking at it. I'm not recommending, as I don't have a hunter. Just thinking about what do they do. You want these numbers to be higher. Keep in mind, show all stats is important. The other things you have here, this button is K on your keyboard. Title, I really don't ever look at. You can give yourself a title. Like right now, if you click on your own, you can see your name. But if you go ahead and make active, it now says Riverlord next to the name. All right. Biography, you can type a big biography in here. If you want to be adopted by somebody in game, you can do that. If you want to adopt somebody, you can do that. There's chances to get married in game, stuff like that. All kind of fun sort of things to do. This is your wallet. This is the B button on your keyboard. And then it's going to tell you all the stuff that you have. Some of this stuff is shared across your accounts. So I have already things in my wallet because they're on my other characters, but I can use them on this character if I want to. If you have a house on a different character, then you're already linked to it. So you can go and you have all the permissions to everything. Hobby, you'll have to go to one of these hobbyists. It's just an NPC that teaches you how to do something. If it's fishing or birding, those are the two hobbies right now. Reputation, these are the standard reputations that you can build. These go to Kindred. Once you start game, you're going to notice that you have hundreds of different reputations that you can get, and it doesn't filter by area that you're in. So you're going to have to know the name of the reputation you're trying to build. I use the search a lot. And then the war is going to be, if you go to the Enton Moors, you'll automatically be leveled up to 150 for that zone, but you're still going to only have your basic skills or whatever you were equipped with. So go in there, you may still, run into a bunch of trouble trying to fight other PCs, and some are actual players playing as like orcs and spiders and such. All right, one of the other things you may want to do when starting out is hit the control button and hit the backslash that's under the backspace button. That will bring up your UI. So anything that's invisible right now, so you can actually move anything around that you want. Your alerts can pop up here. Spar timers, frame rate. If you want to watch your frame rate, that's Control F gives you your frame rate for how many frames per second your screen's showing you. Kind of gets important when you're in raids. It may slow down because your processor's your graphics processor's trying to show everything, and it will slow it down. And you don't really want that. Escorts, other people's vitals, stuff like that. They can all be moved around, error box. But for now, I do like progression bar up a little higher. Targets progression bar. Another thing that I like to do when setting up a character is induction. Display the induction so that I can interrupt if somebody's charging up more damaging attack against me. Okay, to move my character forward, I am going to right click. That's going to hold me in place, but be able to move me around and the camera. I'm going to left click at the same time. That moves me forward.
Enough!
I'll pick up this satchel, which is just right click on the satchel. All right. This is another thing. If you don't want to click loot all every single time, go here, type in loot, and then always loot all. I always do that because you can always sell stuff later on. You're going to open your inventory. You'll find that you have a bow, and you'll see one side says equipped, one side does not. What does not is in your inventory. So this is the fragile short bow versus the stick. Table knife on me. I'm going to equip a knife. Now you see that it disappeared. I now have my table knife as my primary hand and my secondary hand is a knife. Whatever's primary is going to be, I'll say it does a little bit more damage. And then here, this stone, I'll go ahead and equip too. And that will go down here. We'll talk to Aragon by right-clicking on him.
Test your will to fight.
It's going to walk you through everything that you should do. You hit continue, and then essentially at this point, the tutorial takes over. He wants you to fight him. If you move while you're charging up, it interrupts. As you saw, he can interrupt you. If you're doing a charge up sort of attack,
Well done.
we right click on him, we part ways. And then we're just going to go through, like we'll attack this ruffian. And I'm just going 1, 2, 3 because that's just kind of nice ranged attack. Boom, 3, 4. And you'll see 4, you can basically just, as much as you want, just click it. The induction time is 0.5 seconds, so it doesn't take very long, whereas this one just says fast. Cooldown 3 seconds, so you got to wait 3 seconds for it to come back. This one's 18 seconds for it to come back, and this one, induction, is 1.5, and it also takes 1.5 for it to come back to being an active skill. You'll see here that there is hunter focus, and hunter focus essentially means that like you're going to be more accurate the more focus it has. You'll see up here as we get closer to the Nazgul here, the Black Rider, that we're going to get dread. It's +4 dread. That means it's going to take away some health. Your damage is going to be less. You may do this I'm fearful sort of thing where honestly in the rest of the game, if you do this, all of your skills gray out and you're not able to attack anybody. You may not even be able to move. In this case, root, cowering, rooted is displayed, and then you're back. Just Strider's buddy, who now taking the long dirt nap.
I regret that I was but a moment too late.
And then you have your cool video. So
Wounded by a Black Rider, the Ranger
if you don't want to see
is
it, you click escape and that gets you out of it. The videos are cool. It's all in the first volume essentially. At the end of each book in volume 1 you'll get a video, and I used to really enjoy watching that. Now it's got you out of the intro. You're now in Archet and you're still kind of in another intro area. It's kind of funny. You get +4 hope while you're here, and that's kind of how you know you're still in the opening spot. If you open the map, it'll show you the immediate area. If you right click, it'll back you out one, so you can see like Bree is over here and Comb and all these other things. But this is going to take you through the rest of the storyline, the intro storyline. So you'll see intro here. You'll go through, you'll finish all the little quests that they make you do, and then it's going to give you another video, which will then put you back here, but you're part of the rest of the world. You'll see people talking in the general chat. And speaking of that, if you don't want to see people talking in the general chat, go to options, go to chat. You'll see all the different options here for like changing the occupancy. You can change all the colors of each of the chats. You can change the size of the font. What I normally do here is, this is general. I kind of leave this alone. You can right click on general and you can go to chat filter if you want to get rid of like advancement things or seeing all the loot that you get from the general channel, just so you can focus on like what are people saying and is anybody asking for a group, that sort of thing. You can filter all the other stuff out and just have like kin chat coming through like once you join a kinship. Kinship's like a guild. The other thing you can do is I create a new tab. You can drag the tab down to the main line here. You can rename it loot, and then what I do is I go ahead with the any new tab you make, there's really nothing there except for event, broadcast, and regional, and I'll go ahead and hit loot for self and follow, and then that's all that comes through. So if I run out here and I take care of something, pull that down, and then You can make this bigger or smaller compared to how well you see, how big your screen is. So I can run out here. I'll take some pot shots at this wolf. He's level 3, I'm level 1. Boom. You'll see my experience bar down here got a little bit bigger, and you'll see I got no loot. Not one item. But I did get XP that popped up here. I got 18 of 83. So normally when you kill one of those guys, you'll get a item that you can sell or turn in for tasks, and then you'll also get like a hide. All right, I hope this helps. Good luck. Ask any questions in the comments. And that's the video. Thanks for watching. We'll catch you next time.